Hi Flosstube, it's Sam back today with video number 8. And yeah, today it's probably been about another month since I have been here checking in with you guys, and so I apologize for that. What I think I have learned is that Flosstube videos in the summer are going to have to be more spread out. Like, things are just kind of too busy and crazy to try to do a weekly or bi-weekly video. But the good news is everyone is back in school as of Thursday of this past week. So hopefully that will make this a little bit easier to get to you guys on a regular basis. So I'm gonna do today's video in my normal format. We'll do well, I shouldn't say that. In my new, I don't like saying new normal though. My new format. So I'm gonna give you a little life update. I'm going to admit that I am basically abandoning like my themes of stitching. So if you have watched some of my previous videos, I had like categories that I was trying to keep things in to kind of keep like the number of whips that I had started under control. Well, like, forget it. That's done. We're not worrying about that anymore. We're not going to do that anymore. We're just going to stitch what we feel like stitching, and we don't really care what the category is, or if I have too many. It just is what it is. So I'll just go through like some whips, and I probably think have a couple finishes in there to share with you guys. And I do want to talk about my plans for September, because I have a lot of plans of starting some things in September. And I'll show you a few things that I've purchased since my last video. And then I'm going to end it with my charity spotlight, which I haven't done for the last few videos because I was trying to get those in quicker. And this time we're going to talk about an organization called A Kid Again, that we have been a member of, because I just recently, like, they had reached out about something coming up soon, so it made me think of them. So they're going to be next. So that's the plan. So we'll start with the life update part. Like I mentioned, everyone is back to school, so that is good. So my girls went back on Thursday, and normally I treat the first day of school like a holiday, and I always take a day of PTO if it is a day that I normally work. I couldn't do it this week. Like, we just had a lot going on, and it just didn't work out to try to take that day off. So yesterday was really my first day home when everyone else was at school. So I took advantage of that and kind of had a fun day of shopping. I like stopped at Hobby Lobby and Michael's and both of my local needlework stores. Stopped at my mom's, we had lunch. It was a really nice, just fun, relaxing kind of day. That's what I like that day to be. I am not, okay, maybe I should not say this, but I'm not, okay, so you know how there's like the moms that, like, when they put their kid on the bus, they start crying because they're so sad. I'm like the mom that's like, later, and like running off and doing other things, because like they'll be fine. They're fine. They like, when they were little, at least, they like, well, my older daughter still likes going to school. The younger one, I don't really know that she's so all about school now, but they're having fun. They like it. I never had kids that were like the kind that would cry, like, and cling on you. Like, they were like, we were both the same way, right? So I don't know if I instilled that in them or they made me comfortable enough to be able to like do that or whatever, but the first day of school is a fun day for me, not a sad day for me. Okay, so that's going on. Oh, I got new glasses. You may have noticed that. So I sort of go with I'm looking for glasses that, one, fit my face. I apparently have sort of like a larger than normal female face. And so it makes it sometimes hard to find. These are actually a brand that are unisex, like anybody can wear anything. So like that worked out pretty good for me. And I try to find something that like goes with my Embrace the Gray hair color, which I think that worked. And then my third criteria is like the nerdier the better. So I feel like I hit a home run with these. I'm very happy with these new glasses. And then last weekend I was at it's like a retreat. So there is a house located about an hour and a half west of me. So if you are anywhere near like that northwestern part of Ohio, It's called Inspiration in Bloom, in like INN, like the place that you would stay. And they have actually 2 houses on the property. One is like hosted where they feed you, which I love. And the other is unhosted. So you just like rent out the house and stay. And it's just, there's nothing organized about it. Like you just go and bring your stuff and work on whatever. So I was there with some friends, my friend Julie, who is my stitching, like she's my craft buddy for life. Like we've always done everything together. She was a machine that weekend. Like, okay, so listen, most of the people there are scrapbooking. Like that's what a lot of people there tend to work on. So she made a wedding album for her son's wedding. She made a macrame wall hanging, which was really cool. And now I kind of want to do it. She did it's called Slow Stitch Project. And maybe that is something some of you know something about. I didn't know anything about that till Julie told me, and it was really cool. And now I kind of want to try that too. So it was like a smaller thing. So she did that, and then she started stitching. I think that's everything. It was a crazy amount of stuff. Now we were there from Thursday to Sunday, but still, she like wins the prize for like most productive craft retreat weekend ever. She did not finish her stitching, but I really thought she might, like at the rate she was going, who knew? So that was really fun and nice to get away. It amazes me how well run the place is, and like they really, I mean, they are booked out. Like the next weekend we could get was like next Labor Day was our weekend that we took, because there was nothing left in the summer already. They were already booked. So they do a really nice job there, but I probably shouldn't advertise it because now more people are going to go and it's going to be harder to get a spot, but it's really nice. So we did that and that was fun. I think that's about it, like life update wise. So, okay, let's get into the stitching part. Like I said, I've sort of just had to like stitch what I want to stitch, and I have felt kind of a, like, once I start on something, I want to keep at it, and I keep stitching and stitching on that same thing. So I've made more progress, but on fewer things. So we'll start with that. And this is in no particular order. So the thing I've been stitching probably the most on lately is my Satsuma Street Autumn Otono. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but Autumn, I guess like a sampler, right? So I have 5 of the 9 sections done on that. This is a reminder, that's what it looks like done. I'm forcing myself to do the birds because they're kind of my least favorite parts. And like there was a strong desire to like skip over to this column because I really like those, but I'm like, no, just get the birds done. So I have one of them done. I still need to get that other one done, but he's moving along. And I am intentionally leaving the border out. I did that when I did the summer version, and I'm going to keep with that plan. So we have that. Oh God, this one. Okay, here's my, again, dimensions, Christmas by the beach. We're making progress. I think the last time I showed you this, I had made a pretty good chunk of progress on the tree in the center there. So this time I kind of worked on like this area, and like just, there were a lot of blocks over on this side where I had it mostly done, but like there were a few stitches missing in color. So I was trying to like fill all that missing stuff in on this side. And I mean, that's kind of my plan to now work my way across. This is not my favorite thing that I'm stitching, but I do want it to be done. So I'm keeping at it. I will finish it at some point. But okay, so when I was at Just Stitching yesterday and I was talking to Shelly, we were talking about this project a little bit, and I said, I am never doing another dimensions kit again. Like between these tent stitches and keeping track of that and like blending thread colors, and not a fan. I haven't even gotten to the back stitching or French knots on this thing yet. Although we collectively decided that I'm going to do beads maybe instead of French knots. She also told me about colonial knots, which I don't know what those are, but she said sometimes they're easier to get like a consistent result versus a French knot. So maybe I'll check that out, but I can't wait for this to be done. But I do want you to remember later in the video that whole, I'm never going to stitch another dimensions kit again comment. but a little bit of progress on that one. Okay, and then another one that I have spent a fair amount of time on is my, this is another Emma Condon, the swatches for the colors, and I'm working on the summer. So I have the top 2 rows, at least the blocks of color are done. I have a couple of like the words that I have to fill in. I just sort of randomly work on the blocks, but this is a really nice, easy one to work on when I am out and about, and because, or like I'm trying to maybe really watch something kind of on TV a little bit, but I can do this because it's pretty simple, especially like these blocks that are like these that are just like a solid color. It honestly can get kind of boring to do it. So like those are good things to do at that time when you don't really want to have to reference a pattern. But that one is making, and I think I heard that the autumn is the only one of these that's not out yet. And I think that one's supposed to be coming out maybe in the next issue of Cross Stitcher magazine, I think soon. So I would like to get that one done so I can maybe start on the autumn one. And then next we have, oh, I might have, I don't remember. I couldn't remember if I showed you guys this or not. So we're just going to show it again. But this is the Crocette a GoGo pattern that is the months. And so I finished August. And so that one is done. I have to iron that a little bit better. I have to decide exactly how I want to finish these, because I have 2 or 3 of them, I think, done now. But I just haven't really decided. The September through December pattern, last I checked, was not out yet. I could probably go back, but I haven't been working on that one recently because I was kind of waiting to be able to start the September. Okay, my favorite thing that I am working on is, this is from the Emma Condon most recent book that we are kind of doing as a sal. There's 3 other stitchers and I that are working on this together. And it's the seasonal #seasonal earth sal. And so it's really just to like stitch it if you want it. It's number 19 in the her new book. I am doing it where I am stitching each season in the season. So I had stitched quite a bit of the spring. I didn't totally finish it before summer started. And then I started on the summer on the first day of summer. And once I started it, it was like, I was addicted. And I like, this was the thing I was constantly picking up. I love like this kind of stitching is what I like to do. Like it's kind of fill in, but like there's little sections that you can feel like it's a little finish, and there's just enough color changes that it's fun, but like you can make progress. I don't know. I'm loving this one. So it took a lot of willpower for me to not just keep going into fall, but I was like, no, you have other things to work on. So just stick with your plan. So there are a few things that like this bird kind of went over onto that side, and this, it's like a flower that went over, and I didn't actually fill in the center because the color of the center is the same color as the petals out here. So I figured I'd wait, but good progress. Very happy with that one. I love it. So that one is moving along. This is another one that I might have shown this to you guys, but I didn't remember, so I will show it again. I did this, I was participating in cross stitch camp. I did June and July. I don't know, August was too crazy, so I didn't do a project for August, but this was my July project, and it is the hands-on design Flamingle bells, and it's on, I don't remember the fabric name now, but it was the called for fabric. So if you are interested in that, you'll see. Man, I really, like, I ran a quick iron over stuff, but I didn't do a very good job. So now the scary part is I got to figure out how to finish that, because she finished them as ornaments, and I'm a little scared to do that, but we'll figure it out. It's cute. My mom is currently stitching these too, so I gave her all the patterns. So she's working on some of the others. Oh, she did do this one. I think she's working on this one right now, actually. So that is done, and I like it. And then the last whip is one I actually just started yesterday, because this was fabric that I got when I was on my little shopping extravaganza, and that was the Frosted Pumpkin Mysterious Halloween Town. I am only going to stitch, though, I'm not going to stitch this bakery part, and I'm not going to stitch, I don't think I'm going to stitch anything on the bottom. So it's going to be like that part with Frank and his bride and their house. And I figured I could just sort of like make this little hill come down, and maybe put that mushroom there or something to make that work. But I'm not going to do the whole thing. I have a frame specifically that I want to use for this, so I'm trying to make it fit in there. And I figured it made sense to kind of do that. So I have a very teeny weeny little start of that guy. So I just picked a like light kind of gray fabric. Oh, that white does show up. I was worried about the white, but that looks pretty good. And I did actually buy 2 of the called for like fancy floss colors. I have the these 2, the pink and the green. I like the green specifically. Like when you look at that pattern, there's a lot of green that's like that grassy part. So I thought it'd be nice to have the variation there. The pink I probably could have done without, but it's a pretty thread color, so now we have it. I can't, okay, I'm gonna break for 1 second because that's the last whip and talk about thread storage, because I haven't like figured out what I want to do. I'm not good with these thread drop things, and I don't understand, like I feel like it's a lot of work, and maybe I'm doing it wrong. Like I take them on and off of this thing every time I want to pull a thread out, and then I put like the extra one on this end because I saw someone else do that. But it just feels like harder. And I know, I think Kaylee did this too, and someone else had mentioned it on some Facebook group where they would like cut thread the lengths that they liked, like DMC thread, and then wrap them cut onto bobbins. I like that idea, but I'm lazy and I don't really want to put everything on bobbins. So I'm going to share my dirty little secret. And that is what I do right now. Oh, let's find a good example of this. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so I keep things in these plastic bags, and I just sort of throw the DMC floss just right in there. It's just all thrown in there, and then I like sort through and find what I need and whatever. And I'm always torn about the like, okay, if I have 2 projects going that need the same color thread, do I just buy 2, which I kind of hate to do, especially when you think I'm not going to use the whole thing on one. And so now it becomes kind of this, like I almost know of these projects going on, which ones have shared thread. And it's like, if it's not in the bag, I go, oh, that's in with this other one, and I go find it. It's probably not the most efficient, but the really, I don't know, like sort of embarrassing bad part is if you really look in here, please don't judge. Okay, if you really looked in here, in amongst all this thread, this one is particularly bad. Somewhere in there is a big old hunk of threads. Oh my God, why am I showing people this? Okay. A big old hunk of like the leftovers after I cut it, and like these are the, you know, after I've taken out the thread I needed, and that's what's left, and I just shove it in there. And so then when it's like, oh, I need number, you know, 3801 again, okay, see, this is going to be a bad example. Hold on. Oh, here. Okay, so I'll go, oh, I need more 517. Oh, here it is. And I pick it out of there, and I'll usually like kind of hold it right up to make absolutely sure it's the right color, but you know, I could tell looking at it that it's right, and then I'll use it again. And then when I'm all done with that project, they go into this baggie of like, they're not orts because they're like, I have a little container that I put those in when they're short little things that you can do anything with. These are like long enough to actually still stitch with threads. So that's what I'm doing right now. Someday maybe I'll figure out a better way, but I'm gonna talk now about, about some of my purchases, stash enhancements, as we like to say. And I have a plan for some of this thread because I kept thinking I could do something with this. What could I do with it? And so I saw someone stitching this particular pattern, and I was like, well, that would be perfect. So I bought it, and it's a Carolyn Manning Designs, a flower a day. I guess it was a stitch along at one time, a flower a day. So it's this crazy, like, I mean, I guess there must be 365 flowers on here if it's a flower a day. pattern, and I'm like, that would be great. Like, I don't have to follow the colors that she is suggesting. I can just go to my bag and go, I'm gonna make that flower orange and stitch it. And like, this can be my use up my extra threads project. So I thought that was a pretty good idea on my part, if I do say so myself. And then I'll feel less guilty about all that thread going to waste, because it won't go to waste. So I think what I'm gonna do, because it's like this 365 flower a day thing, I'm gonna save this one and start it on my New Year's, as a New Year's Day start. So that is something that I purchased. Yep, and my dirty secret about thread. And like, I was telling Julie this when we were at our weekend. She was like, could not believe it, because that is not, I am usually this uber organized, everything is labeled and sorted, and like, I freakishly probably spend more time organizing things than actually like creating sometimes with them. So like, I don't think she believed me until I showed her that that is what I did. Anyway, so that's done. That's off. Okay. I'm going to go through this stuff and specifically show you first the things I plan to start in September, because September is going to be a busy month. I'm going to start the fall section of my Emma Condon seasonal earth sale part, because fall will start in September here. I am also going to start, okay, this is a new pattern. This is, let's see if this is gonna be too glary. Silver Creek Samplers. It's called Through the Storms. And it says, you guys probably already know this, but no relationship is all sunshine, but two people can share one umbrella and walk through the storms together. And then it has a place for a year here, like in this puddle by the, I think they're ducks. And then I don't know, here, wait, let's just take this out. I don't know if you can see this well enough or not, but in the green, there's like darker green where there are initials and then like a full month, day, year, date. And so my anniversary is in September, wedding anniversary. And so I am planning to start this on my anniversary this year, because this year will be our 29th wedding anniversary. So next year's kind of a bigger, like 30th anniversary thing. So my goal is to finish this, start it on our anniversary this year, and be done with it by our anniversary next year. Seems very reasonable. It's not that big of a thing, but I'm gonna sort of divvy this up and do it like in a personal stitch along style, so that I'm like, okay, we'll get this cloud done this month, and we'll get the ducks done one month, and we'll get this row of words or something, whatever. Like, I'm gonna divvy it up somehow myself so that I can finish it easily in that time frame. And I think, like they said on the instructions for here, that the sampler would make a thoughtful wedding gift along with a new umbrella, which is very cute. I sort of almost see this as more like an anniversary thing, because like we've weathered some storms and been under the umbrella. And so it's good, right? And like, I'm not sure, because like the date that they show is a 9/3 of 94, but it was stitched in 16. So I'm like, I think it will make sense if I put our wedding date, which is 9/19, and then put 2022 here. So you would see that like this 30 years has passed. I think that, do you think that makes sense? I think that makes sense, because I didn't want to do, you know, like from this date to this date, because then that to me implies death, which is not. So the puddle will be the current year and just a year, whereas that would be our wedding date. So I think that makes sense. So that's my plan. So I got that along with this fabric, which, I mean, nothing exciting. It's great. It is light ash gray. It was an even weave. It's an even weave. That's all they wrote down on here was light ash gray. And then I got the flosses. See, I'm so not a good like floss shower offer. Everybody else has these, but I got the flosses, the fancy flosses for this one. I think there's one, maybe two that they just didn't have in stock, so they're missing. And then there's white, like the ducks are white, but I'm like, I just use white DMC. I don't think I need fancy floss for that part. So this will be started in September. a little bit later in the month. The other thing I'm going to start, well, there's actually two other things. I'm going to start in September. Oh, here it is. Okay, so I know that Fat Quarter Shop is doing this Sunflower September plan. Oh, I meant to grab a name that I forgot. So I'm going to participate, and I have something that I'll start on the 1st. I don't know if I'll get this done in September, but it's okay. So you guys stick with me here. You may have seen this. If you've seen it, you're going to know where I'm going with this. But I'm going to use the Flea Market Flowers pattern. And I know those aren't necessarily supposed to be sunflowers, but some brilliant person, and that's whose name I meant to get. I will put a link to their account below. Did this all in shades of yellow, like sunflowers. Like, I had this one on my mind of like, oh, I like that, but everybody stitched it. And I was like, I would like want to do something different, but I don't really know what. And I saw that and I was like, yeah, like I can't see these now as anything but yellow sunflowers. Now, when she stitched it, she did it on like a darker tan color fabric. She did all these outlines as white. And she used some lighter, like very pale yellow shades that showed really pretty on that. And then I think she actually added words. I can't remember now what it said, but she added some words at the bottom too that looked pretty. What I'm going to do is use, get ready for it, this, and I think this is this is Fabric Flare fabric. This wood grain fabric flare fabric. So I got this, I think they had it in 14 count. This is 14 count, yeah. I'm gonna stitch it on this. So I'm gonna choose yellows that are a little bit more like bright or intense, so that they'll show up on here. And I didn't even really, I just thought that would look cute on here. And then I got this at Just Stitching. And so when she was kind of, she's like, that's so cute. It's going to look like they're growing kind of on a fence. And I was like, oh, yeah, sure. That's, wasn't really like a thought in my mind, but I was like, yeah, I think that's cute. So I am super excited about starting this one. This may become my one that once I start, I can't stop and want to keep stitching it, is what I am envisioning. So that we're going to start September 1st. I have to go through, like I kind of thought this color, which is one I got from my other thing, but I'm like, that would be a good color on there. So I might start with this, or I might start with the flowers that they already have on here that are kind of yellow and orange color and work from there. I don't know. I need to go through this weekend and pull some floss colors. I'm hoping I can use some of what I have. Perhaps I can pull some things out of my bag of thread, because really none of them have to be the same. Like, I don't know, whatever. They're going to be sunflowers. I'm very excited about it. It's going to be great. Whitewashed board, 14 count, color whitewash board, fabric flare. That's what we've got. So that is going to be a September start. And then the last thing I'm going to start in September is my birthday is also in September. It also is actually the first day of fall. So it's going to be a very busy stitching day. I also treat that as a holiday, and I take PTO if it's a day I work, and it is a day I would normally work. So I have PTO scheduled. So my intent is to stitch, maybe lunch with mom. I don't know, but for sure there's going to be a lot of stitching that day. And so that, I have to show you that on my iPad because I haven't printed the pattern yet. Tight. So I am going to start this pattern. It's a Vivsters pattern on Etsy. It's like Rainbow Band Sampler or something. I'll get the exact name once I stop showing it to you. So here's the deal. There's 50 squares. I counted them out. 50 of these little squares. So my intent is over the course of this, starting on my birthday, over the course of the year, I will stitch a square a week. That looks very manageable to me. I hope I'm right. I think I'm right. It looks easy to do that. And there's only 50. So I have 2 weeks where I can flub up and maybe fall behind a little bit. Yes, it would have been really cool if I would have thought to do this the year I turned 50, but that ship has sailed. So we're gonna just do it now. I'm turning 52, so we'll do it that way. I think I'm gonna just stick with the colors that are called for there. And yeah, like I said, let me get you the name Vibsters, Cross Stitch, Quaker, Sampler, Banded, Rainbow Tile, Patchwork Squares on White. Okay, I'll put a link. She has a number of things like this. She has some other ones that are banded, like they're very long, really big, but this felt manageable to me to get done in a year. So I'm going to start that one on my birthday. So that's all I have as far as like plans for new starts. A few other things that I purchased. Hold on. Okay. I bought this, I think these came with 1, 2, 3 stitch. I was buying, I think that Silver Creek pattern I ordered there. So I also got this Lizzie Kate, because I think they're the only places you can get Lizzie Kate now, unless it's like happens to still be in a store. And I had someone I saw stitch this and I thought it was real cute. Beach stuff and dog stuff, I have a hard time passing by. So that one's going into the stash. And then I did buy one of these Tales from the Sea, the Fragments in Time. Who is this? Summer House Stitch Works. And I know there's a whole series of these. This is the one I like the best. So I'm kind of debating whether I'm going to just stitch this one. I think I am. Okay, I know I can't show you the pattern of this, but I'm looking at it right now and it makes my eyes go crazy looking. I think I'm going to try to like make a photocopy to make it bigger. And if that doesn't work, then I'm only going to do this one because I can't, it's too much. There's too much going on. I can't tell what, I can't see it. My eyes are too old, but it's really pretty. Yeah. So we will at least stitch that guy at some point. And then I bought, this was when I was at the Crafty U, because I said I visited both of my local needlework stores yesterday. So this was the fabrics that I bought, and this was like a mix of stuff I got there. But they had this Keepsakes cross stitch calendar for 2022 on the counter. So in a complete impulse purchase buy, I got it. Oh, but see, wait a minute. I must have skipped it. So I'm going to show you the months I loved. This one, look at this cute little, look at these little guys. And those look like Stacy, her name, I forgot to go and look and see because they give you, then there's a separate book that gives you the patterns. You guys probably all know how this works, but yeah, Stacy Yakula is the designer of this, and I knew it because she also makes stamps, and so I know her from the like paper crafting stamp world. I'm like, that's a Stacy. I never remember her name, but it's Yakula. Name Adapted for Cross Stitch by Barbara Anna. So I liked that one, and I liked this obviously because it's an Emma Compton pattern. But I think maybe this was in a magazine or something because I feel like maybe I've seen it before, but I don't have it. So I got that one. And then I liked, give you a little preview of some of the other ones. Some of these Octobers, like I liked that guy, maybe the cat. Those were kind of cute. And then this November one. This was I'm trying to see. Oh, Autumn Woodland, designed by Awesome Pattern Studio. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to go find Awesome Pattern Studio because that's an awesome pattern. That's a lot of coverage, but it's really pretty. So it doesn't look humongously big. I didn't really look at that much detail of it, but it's pretty. It's on like that tote bag. So I'm like, okay, there's 3 or 4 patterns in there I like, and there's a whole bunch of other ones too. So you get the calendar that I can like use as a calendar on my wall. You get the book, instruction book, so that you can create all the things that are in that calendar. And then they also give you a little pocket calendar, which I don't know for sure if I will use that, but maybe I'll do something with that. So you got that too. So I bought that. I think that's all the new stuff. Okay, then the other thing I did yesterday was stopped and picked up a few things from someone that was selling cross stitch kits on Facebook Marketplace. I will just occasionally like check in there and see what is going on. And I usually, if there's something that is really good, I usually just miss out on it because it's good and somebody like snags it up really quick. But this one, she had she was selling a set of kits for really cheap, and most of them were not things that I would be interested in stitching, but there was one that was. So I'm going to show you that first. Okay, and it's pretty old and raggedy, but here's the deal. So it's called Shell Wreath. I wonder if this has a year. Oh, that is a year, but I'm not going to figure out what it is yet. And so it is, as you can imagine, a wreath of shells. And it's the kit. Oh, wow. I don't think this is, I'm not sure this has been ever opened, or it's taped. Okay, but here's the thing. Okay, I don't really care about this plastic, so we're just going to rip it. It gives you the pattern. Okay, so you have thread in here for it. There's, I don't know what that is for, but there's the sorry. Well, I don't even know if you can buy this. There's the pattern. Okay, but it's actually, it's like a semi-stamped situation, which I did not know. So I think I could, oh, she actually did start it. Oh, okay, so she did start it. So, so there are things on there that are stamped, but not all of it. And so it's like, well, that's kind of interesting, I guess. It's a weird thing, because why did they make that bow pink when it's really blue? I don't know. And I thought to myself, well, whatever. I could just use my own piece of fabric and just pick colors to fill in. So I'm debating whether, do I finish it here? That's pretty big, isn't it? I don't know. Like, and I actually like that blue color better than I thought I would when I saw it on this, on the picture here. That is not bad. I might finish it on this piece. I really might. I know that it seems maybe weird, but I think I am. Oh, so there's blue and pink bows. I think I'm going to finish it the way it is. I know maybe this isn't the most like in style thing, but I like beachy things and I like this pattern. And by gosh, I'm going to like stitch it the way I think it is on here and just go with it. But I figured if nothing else, I have this pattern. I would just have to figure out colors for the printed spots. I don't know. It was something fun. Then, so she's like, well, look through the bin and see if there's anything else that you want in there. So she had a few like just random pieces of white Aida that I was like, sure, I'll take that. And then this is going back to the I will never buy another Dimensions kit again comment. In this baggie, she has a Dimensions kit. And so I looked at the pattern and I was like, well, that's really kind of pretty. Okay, it's like this flowers. And again, I know maybe not like the most in style right now, but I think it's pretty. And the kit's all there. She actually had made, I don't know. Oh, there's some kind of spot of something on there. Okay. She actually made like, take the pin off. Like she's got it all here. She just stopped and was done. The needle's there. The hoop was there. But like she made pretty good progress on this thing. And so it was more like I felt bad for it. Like, oh, somebody needs to just finish that. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to take this and I'll finish. I promise you that someday I will finish it. So now I have to finish it. And I didn't really look at the pattern yet to see. Honestly, I can handle the half threads. It's the blended things that I'm not a fan of. And I think, oh, it looks like there's only one. It doesn't look too bad on the blending. So maybe I'll hate this one less. We'll see. But I promised her someday I would finish it for her. It was like a save the stitching situation where I felt like I had just had to take it and finish it because I think it's pretty. So gosh darn it, I'm going to do it. Okay, so we bought that. And then the only other thing I was going to show you really quickly, this was something I got at the library. And it's the Quilt As You Go by Brand Big. Uh-oh. It's covering up her name. Jira. It's an interesting name. And I saw some videos. It might have been on Fat Quarter Shop's channel because I really do want to try to sew. Quilting seems overwhelming to me, but there are some really cute projects in this book. I just got this out of our library because I thought I need to understand if I'm really going to try to do this. But like, that is really cute. I don't know. So this is on the maybe we're going to do something with that. So that is all the stitching update, plans, stash enhancements, all that done. So that's going to be the end of the stitching part. If that's all you're here for, feel free to go about the rest of your day. The last thing I just wanted to spend a couple minutes talking about was a kit again. And like I said, it's an organization that we've been involved with for a number of years. And I'm going to go back to their website so I can kind of quote this correctly. I know what they do and I know what they do for us, but like as far as an overall like mission statement kind of thing. So what they said is, we make life for families caring for a child with a life-threatening condition normal again, and they do normal quotes, normal again, by helping them gain back moments of positive family shared experiences and memories. And I think they primarily service, it's definitely all in the US. So if you're outside the US, this one doesn't apply, but this is another, I'm telling you this in case you know someone that could benefit from this organization. So the markets that they currently serve include Michigan, Illinois, West Virginia, Kentucky, Alabama, Washington, D.C., Maryland, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, and Delaware. And then they have chapters, obviously, because I haven't said Ohio. So I'm not sure what the difference is between markets and chapters. I think they serve it all. But there are definitely, like, I believe this organization started in Ohio. So I think that's its largest presence. So there's a Central, Northern, and Southwest Ohio chapters, 3 separate chapters, an Indiana chapter, a Greater Philadelphia chapter, and a Central Carolinas chapter. So if you live in any of those areas and you or someone you know has a child with a life-threatening illness, so I think a lot of the population that they serve is kids battling cancer, but there are a whole host, and somewhere on their website, I know there's like a pie chart of like what you know, what that means when they say life-threatening illness. And the biggest chunks are cancer and like other, like we would be in that other category. But then there are other like like more significant in numbers, parts of that. So what does that look like? So what that looks like here in our chapter is they plan things that they call adventures for your family, a couple during the year. And so the big ones here in this area, they always do some kind of Christmas party where you go. Typically what you do is you go, like Santa's there. They have all sorts of like crafts and games and things that you can do. You can visit with Santa, they feed you lunch. And then kids can request a gift, and it's not just, I mean, they give everybody like a stuffed animal or something, but it's not just a like, oh, we bought the same gift for everybody. It's like you literally give them a list of potential things that you would like, that your kid would like, and they go and buy and wrap gifts for every child there. That is something that they would specifically want. So it's really cool and takes a tremendous amount of volunteer hours. So I will reiterate that, like, if you live in one of these areas and are looking for volunteer opportunities, there's tons, and like this would be a great one because they need someone to shop for these gifts and wrap these gifts and, you know, host the tables of like games and crafts and stuff like that. So there's lots of different ways that you can volunteer for them. Another big one that they do, we're near Cedar Point, so they do a day at Cedar Point. And it is, we just get to go to Cedar Point and have fun that day. The tickets are paid for, the parking is paid for, lunch is paid for. They give each of the kids a little gift card to spend with, you know, if they wanted like a food treat or something from the gift shop or whatever. So it's an awesome day. They'll do Indians games. They've done Cavs games. We always do something at the Soapbox Derby. Even during COVID, they really tried to still, like we did the drive-through Christmas lights thing, since we couldn't really do the typical Christmas party, and you would just drive off and they were throwing food at you, like that you could take home and reheat, and still gave you your gifts, you know, so they managed to still do that. And then they did like a movie night at home for Valentine's Day, where they sent you like a coupon code to rent a movie, get a pizza for free, and then sent you a bunch of like candy and popcorn and stuff to have like a home adventure when we couldn't go out. The people that work here are wonderful, wonderful people that are running it. And so it's it's just fun. And they are very focused on, they're doing this for the whole family. So like there's a child in the family that is the reason that you're eligible, but this event and these adventures are for everyone. So like there was I can't remember which one it was because we couldn't do it anyway, but like, we had planned to go, it might've been a Cavs game one or something. And my oldest daughter, who was the reason that we're eligible, happened to be sick. And so I knew the day before that we weren't going to be able to go. So I wanted to let them know. So I reached out and let them know, like, hey, we're not going to make it. She's not feeling well. And so they were like, okay, that's fine. You know, but if they were fine, if like one of us and wanted to bring our younger daughter and still go, like that was totally cool. So it's really centered on providing something for the whole family, because while there is a child in that family that is handling that, it affects everyone, and they recognize that. And I think that is a wonderful sort of like differentiation of them. And fun fact, we were actually on TV as representatives of them a couple years ago, it was maybe. And they were on one of those like morning kind of news local shows where they talk about like different events or restaurants or whatever things going on in the community with like people that are typically on the news and the local news. And so they asked us if we would do it. So my oldest daughter and I went, and it was that in itself, I was like, that is like one of the most fun adventures we've ever had, because we got to go to the TV studio and see like what it looks like inside the studios that they're filming these kinds of things in. And our segment was filmed with the meteorologist. She usually does the weather reports here. And so, but like she did an interview with us, and it was great, and it was really fun. It was like I was kind of nervous doing it because it's live TV, and I was like, oh my god, what if I just freeze up or say something dumb? But I think I did fine. And so that was super fun, and it was really nice to be able to like represent them. So again, the name is The Kid Again. I will put a link down below. So again, if you know anyone that you think could benefit from their services, or you're looking for a volunteer opportunity, it's a great one to check out. So I think that is all I have for you guys today. And I appreciate you coming back, even though like I've been a little sporadic with the timing. Like I said, I'll try to get better with that now that school is back in session. But enjoy your week, and hopefully maybe I'll see you in like 2 weeks. All right.